that one day I will put that hair cover, the hijab, back on.
Wait a minute, does Nicole mispronounce the word hijab? No way, surely not. Let's listen to that again.
The hijab back on.
Okay, let me get this straight. So Nicole lived in Egypt, she converted her religion, she's now Muslim.
I converted, yeah, I did convert.
She even wore a hijab, but she doesn't even know how to pronounce it. Yeah, kinda tells you everything you need to know about Nicole, doesn't it? She acts on impulse, doesn't know what she's doing, and then regrets her decision when she finally realises what the consequences are.
I'm definitely suffering the consequences of that decision. But I tell him, I say, I will never, ever, 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 a day in my life, ever put that on again.
Don't worry, Nicole. He's not going to understand you anyway because hijab isn't a word. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's rewind back to the start of this episode. So we join Nicole and her parents as they help her pack up her life because once again, she's off to Egypt, this time indefinitely.
Thank you so much. I know you've helped me move like 1,000 times or something. So I'm surprised you said yes.
Of course, that's my job.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of worried about Nicole's relationship with her parents. I was curious, how did they react to the fact that Nicole married a random man that she met whilst on vacation? But it's obvious her parents love her very much. They do their best to support her, despite her crazy, impulsive ways. So why would Nicole be surprised that they said yes to help her pack? Maybe they're reaching their limit as to how much they're willing to support her insane lifestyle? Or maybe they just don't approve of Mahmoud.
I do not like her moving back to Egypt, period. She's moving someplace that I can't get to.
Nicole's dad is worried, very worried. He doesn't know anything about Egypt and he doesn't know anything about Mahmoud or his family. And you've got to say, his concern is understandable. He won't be able to reach his baby girl if she ever needs him.
She's my only little girl, so I always worry about her.
And it doesn't help that Harold has never met, never even spoken to his son-in-law.
He always talks about how he wished that maybe he could have talked to you before he got married, so maybe Dad could have warned him about who he was marrying.
Mahmoud's cheeky joke does make me wonder why he didn't ask Nicole's father for permission to marry her. Sure, it's a little traditional, and yeah, maybe Nicole wouldn't have liked that. But if Nicole had been an Egyptian girl, you've got to assume that Mahmoud would have asked the father for permission to marry the daughter, right? Now, during Nicole's conversation with her parents, aside from a bizarre story where she spoke about gatecrashing another couple's wedding in order to squeeze in her own ceremony,
We sat at a table at somebody else's wedding with boxes of cake, and then we were married. It was so weird.
yeah, apart from that random story, Nicole also revealed that she officially converted and she's now Muslim. And guess what? Her parents had no clue. Yet again, Nicole's showing her strange secretive side, and it's kind of odd. Why did she keep that secret? Was she worried her parents wouldn't approve? Does she just not care?
So, do you feel like you want to be Muslim?
I am Muslim.
It kind of surprised me that she converted.
I love that Mahmoud loves his religion so much. And so I thought, wow, maybe I'm missing something.
I don't think she really did think it through.
Her parents seem shocked, hurt, maybe even a little resigned. Sadly, this isn't new behaviour to them, and they even slip in the fact, get this is crazy, they slip in the fact that they found out about their own daughter's wedding through a friend on Facebook.
I think she really loves this Mahmoud, but somebody told us that it was on Facebook that she got married. So it was a big surprise.
I mean, can you imagine? As a parent, that's got to be a dagger through the heart. But on the plus side, I will give him this. His pronunciation of Mahmoud's name is impeccable.
Mahmoud.
Well done, Harold.
Mahmoud said that all you have to do to become a Muslim is you have to say the Shahada, which is there is only one God and that Muhammad is his prophet. And I wholeheartedly believe those things.
Sorry, what? Nicole expects us to believe that she went from meditation and vague spirituality to an absolute belief in Allah and the Prophet Muhammad within 2 weeks of meeting Mahmoud. Yeah, I'm not quite convinced.
I needed much more information because, as it turns out, there's a lot more to it than just saying the Shahada and believing the things that you say.
Yes, Nicole, a strict Islamic lifestyle is very different to the wishy-washy, soul journey, crystal spirituality that you're used to. And for the record, that's not me saying that disparagingly. If she wants crystal spirituality and soul journeys, then good luck to her. But she also has to be realistic and understand that strict Islam is very, very different from that world. Given Nicole's impulsive personality, it's not a surprise that she's finding it hard to adjust.
I'm currently having like a major crisis because I did this and I don't really know what I'm going to do now.
Which raises the question, is Nicole just going through with all of this because she's too embarrassed to admit that she's made a huge mistake?
He thinks that in time I'll come to my senses and start doing all of these things, and that one day I will put that hair cover, the hijab, back on.
Nicole admits that she finds it hard to talk to Mahmoud about religion. She says that while he doesn't pressure her too much, he acts like it's inevitable that she will follow the rules. Now, as harsh as this might sound, there are only two options here for Nicole. Either they break up because Nicole doesn't embrace the Islamic culture, or Nicole has to follow the rules because Mahmoud won't bend on his religion.
But I tell him, I say, I will never, ever, 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 a day in my life, ever put that on again.
What's interesting here about Nicole is she says a lot of the right things that give off the impression that she's really respectful of Mahmoud's culture, but her actions say otherwise. After all, how respectful is it really if it comes entirely from a place of ignorance? Surely she has to know and understand it before she can respect it.
I'm definitely suffering the consequences of that decision. I am willing to make sacrifices for Mahmoud, but I know for sure that I can't change who I am.
And you know what? I'm actually going to back Nicole on this. She's going to Egypt on a mission. She wants to finally sit down with Mahmoud and tell him once and for all that she doesn't want to be a practicing Muslim, and that hopefully he can respect that and still be with her. Am I holding my breath? No, but it's a good last attempt to save her marriage. But is Mahmoud on the same page?
If Nicole's don't start learn how to feel comfortable like my country or my culture this time, I'm afraid she will go home and we are done.
Uh-oh, I guess they're not on the same page yet. But how could they be? They're just so different.
But we are just come from different world. It's really different. My job is manager for fabric store. I have more than 12 years I do that job.
Mahmoud and Nicole are so different. He's been working at the same fabric store for 12 years. Nicole, on the other hand, well, she couldn't even last more than a few years in the fashion industry, an industry that she loves. She spent her whole life hopping around from job to job, state to state. Now, at the same time, Mahmoud is the youngest in his family, and it shows. He comes across like a young boy, even though he's 30 years old. And that's interesting, because so does Nicole. She might be 8 years his senior, but they both have this childlike wonder for each other, which is actually very adorable.
She's so sweet and she's so crazy at the same time. She's really so strong woman and she's amazing.
And this is where we finally get to meet some of Mahmoud's family. They seem quite cool. His brothers are pretty chilled out.
محمود أصغر واحد فينا، ده اللوع بتاعنا، هو أصغر واحد عندنا.
هو أصغر مني ب13 سنة.
أصغر مني ب7 سنين.
يعني
فرق سني
تعرف زي أخونا ابننا الكبير.
Mahmoud's brothers laugh at him in only the way brothers can, and they actually don't seem that concerned with the cultural differences and troubles that Nicole and him are having, which is good, because family is very important to Mahmoud.
The most important thing to me, first my religion, second my family. If you grow up Muslims, the most important thing is to pray.
Mahmoud obviously looks up to his brothers for advice, especially considering his oldest brother also married a foreigner. And guess what? It worked out perfectly. She's apparently living happily in Egypt.
لكن في البدايه كانت الامور صعبه. لكن في الاول احنا عندنا هدف. يعني هي عايزه تعيش معايا وانا عايز اعيش معاها. فاحنا الاثنين اشتغلنا على نفسنا.
So Mahmoud opens up about the arguments he's been having with Nicole, hoping for some magical big brother wisdom.
I never ever think she will back again, because like the last time she was in Egypt, we have like a fight, a really bad one.
Ah, a bad fight. Let me guess what it was about. Nicole's clothes, am I right?
When we start talking about clothes, we have the worst fight, and she decided like we're not together anymore.
When Mahmoud complains to his brothers about Nicole's issue with clothing, they don't blame her at all. In fact, they blame Mahmoud for not giving her enough of a religious education. And we kind of know from the last episode that this is probably true.
The day I landed in Egypt to marry Mahmoud, he points at a girl who is wearing a short skirt, and he says, you know, you're never going to be able to wear that style.
تقول له ايه المطلوب؟ فرض عين. ان انت تعلمها ده فرض عين لكنك انت.
Yes, Mahmoud doesn't appear to have taken the time to educate Nicole properly.
Things like doing the 5 prayers and the 5 washes every single day. There's this and there's that. Every moment of your life is being Muslim.
Meanwhile, Nicole is freaking out. When we join her with her parents on the way to the airport, it seems like she's having cold feet.
Are you all set?
No, I don't want to go.
Nicole's excited to see Mahmoud, but terrified to live in Egypt again.
But I'm not looking forward to living in Egypt. I know what it's like there, and I don't like it. Like, I don't like the life there. Like, even simple things like I don't know how to go to the grocery store.
Hearing and seeing how much Nicole doesn't want to go back to Egypt clearly has an effect on her parents. It can't be easy watching on helplessly as your grown adult daughter continues to make life decisions that you just don't agree with.
I really think you're sacrificing a lot.
And sometimes I get really resentful about that because I feel like he's asking a lot.
Look, here's the thing. Nicole's parents' reaction is to be expected. They're not exactly wrong. It's true that Mahmoud's religion requires a lot of sacrifice on Nicole's behalf. But should that resentment be directed at Mahmoud? Or should they be telling Nicole that she needs to stop making uninformed, impulsive decisions that she's only going to regret later?
But I do have doubts that Mahmoud and I will be able to deal with our stuff.
Now, while Nicole does have her doubts, there's a glimmer of hope that this time around, she's in the right headspace to tackle them. This time, she knows what she's getting into, and she knows both she and Mahmoud need to come up with a solution together.
Because up to this point, we haven't been able to communicate properly to overcome these problems.
الموضوع بقى اقوى من الاول ما بيننا. لسه الثقافه لسه ما فيش انسجام ما بيننا، اللي هو هي بتتعامل على دماغها على فكرها وانا بتعامل على فكري، وما فيش بقى ايه.
Nicole and Mahmoud know what their issues are, so can they solve them? Well, it's not looking good. If first impressions are anything to go by, well, their reunion immediately turns sour. Neither of them are ready to back down from their point of view.
Can I hug you? Yes.
That comes across as a little bit passive-aggressive, doesn't it? I mean, after all that she said about trying, that isn't exactly the right attitude to have in the first 10 seconds of being reunited with your husband. Was she joking? Was she just double-checking? Mahmoud is hugging her back, so it should be obvious that it's fine.
I don't know if you're even really allowed to show that much affection here.
I think it's normal we do that when we are like at airport, or like it's normal we do, like no problem here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so it begins. Immediately, the cultural differences surface, and Mahmoud can't help himself from taking a thinly veiled dig.
This time I didn't hear, I never want to come here, because when she tired, the first thing she told me, I don't want to come here. Yeah.
Oh, Mahmoud, did you have to? Firstly, obviously Nicole was not impressed with that comment, especially after a 15-hour flight to a country she didn't even want to come to. She sacrificed her family and her apartment back in America, but within seconds you had to have a little jab. And secondly, this isn't the first time we've seen Mahmoud joke about serious things.
Yeah, I know you love to fight.
You're Mr. Jokester today.
Maybe the airport isn't the right place for a serious conversation, but Nicole just wanted to have a conversation. Is this something that's going to become an issue for them?
Yeah, my wife going to stay more this time.
You're worried that I'm not going to stay?
Yeah, sometimes because she would love to change her mind a lot.
I fully believe that Nicole believes that she's going to stay in Egypt this time, but we also know that Nicole leaves when the going gets tough, and boy is it about to get tough. It seems like jokester Mahmoud is looking for a fight. Is this really the time to be saying these things, Mahmoud?
Because maybe tomorrow you wake up, I hate Egypt, I need to leave now. As normal you do.
I think to a large extent, Mahmoud's jokey attitude might be him just trying to laugh through the pain. Factually, he's not wrong, that is what Nicole's done. And I think we can see that the last time she did this, it really hurt Mahmoud. It seems like it cut deep.
We were married for about 11 months when I told Mahmoud that I wanted a divorce. I canceled Mahmoud's visa application and I blocked him.
Of course, I was very sad about that because after she came to my life, everything is about Nicole. I really love her. So when this happening, it was so hard on me.
It kind of feels like Mahmoud is trying not to get his hopes up too high that Nicole will stick around. I don't actually think he believes that they're going to be able to work out their problems.
Okay, my love, can you just close your jacket, please?
Why?
Because I think your shirt is more small or something.
So rude.
This isn't a good sign. We're seeing old patterns re-emerge here again immediately. Nicole seems to know that what she's wearing won't meet Mahmoud's expectations, but she wants to wear it anyway. And when Mahmoud asks her to cover up, as she probably knew that he would, she doesn't like it.
I know what it was, and I'm not going to say it out loud.
Okay, no.
Yeah. The jacket wasn't covering my front, the bottom.
And so, regardless of their best intentions, the same old cycle begins again immediately. They're back at square one, and I don't hold much hope that these two will be able to sort out their differences.
I was hoping that this kind of stuff wouldn't start the minute that I landed, but it did, so hopefully coming back here wasn't a mistake.